It won't ever get old. I think for me, the first verse is almost the weakest part of the song. Ooh, I like that silence. I like that silence. 大家好，我是Joe Creator. Today, we're going to be checking out another presumable classic which has been recommended to me. The artist is RENE LIU, or in Chinese, Liu Ruoying. She was born in Taipei, I think in 1969 it says here, and she has over the years brought out 15 studio albums, her latest one being in 2021 and her first album being in 1995, which is the year actually I was born. Today we're going to be going back in time a little bit to a live performance that she's done of Whole Lie, which I believe is one of her more famous songs. I'm looking forward to how she does this live, but before we get into that, I want to talk about this video sponsor, iFlytek. So this is the iFlytekSmartRecorder. As you can see, it's covered in 6 microphones used to record and transcribe anything you need, personal notes, meetings, or lectures. It does all of this without needing to be connected to the internet, which I'll come back to later. In fact, I transcribed the entire script into the smart recorder for this video. In fact, I transcribed the entire script into the smart recorder for this video. And it has an impressive range of up to 10 meters. It's super easy to use with this 2-inch touchscreen, 190 hours of storage space, and 7 hours of battery life. It's fluent in 5 different languages and has already come in handy for my Chinese learning. Being able to transcribe what people are saying so I can come back to it later. 大家好，我真的喜欢吃火锅. Just so you know, those languages are English, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and Russian. It has other useful features like the one-click marker, which allows you to instantly highlight a part of your recording for keynotes, as well as AI tools for voice word filtering and non-human voice filtering. The other creative use that I have for this is to take it out and about with me anywhere, so that when lyrical inspiration strikes, then I can just get it out and instantly get the recording and the transcript on here. Then when I get back to the studio, I can instantly get those ideas back out and start using them. Or maybe I'm talking to a client and I want to remember everything they ask for in a project. Using this can make sure I never miss anything. So I did mention that this doesn't need the internet, which in this day and age is important because it means that the data isn't being stored anywhere except where you want it to be. And with the USB, you have secure data transfer to your computer, no middleman involved. So please go and check out the iFlytekSmartRecorder. You can use my link down in the description to go and purchase yours. Now let's get back to the video. Without further ado, let's listen. Okay, here we go. She's in her sort of mid-50s now. How old do you think she is here? Okay, you know it's a good song when the start of the song they're singing.
再大声.
And they even actually do get louder there. Already such descriptive lyrics. I think that's so good for just drawing in the listener. Very sweet so far. She has a very down-to-earth singing style. True. So what I just first gather is that the lyrics here, they start out with that specific story, as I said, to draw the listener in, but then we get these lines with this very broad idea, which I think will probably be expanded on further in the song, but you have this sort of draw in and then expand out, which I really like.
在这相思的深夜里，你是否一样，也在静静追悔感伤？如果当时我们能不那么倔强，现在也不那么遗憾。
I think it may be a very relatable story.
你都如何回忆我？带着笑或是很沉默。这些年来，有没有人能让你不寂寞？后来，我总算学会了如何去爱，可惜你早已远去，消失在人海。后来，终于在眼泪中明白，有些人一旦错过就不再。谢谢你们，谢谢。
Yeah, thank you for them singing most of the song with her. That's really, really impressive. I like the chorus there. The words are really nice. What I like the most, I think, really, is the introduction to the chorus. When she says "whole lie," the whole is like a big, exasperated breath. It is like the sigh that she talks about earlier in the song. And then that leads nicely into the words of the chorus. She seems very, very humble as well.
你都如何回忆我？带着笑或是很沉默。这些年来，有没有人能让你不寂寞？后来，我总算学会了如何去爱，可惜你早已远去，消失在人海。
You have the strings in now.
后来，终于在眼泪中明白，有些人一旦错过就不再。后来
Yeah, okay, it's time for the crowd. Okay, they're getting better. And the crowd's pretty in tune as well.
后来，我总算学会了
I think the words of this chorus are good enough to warrant this repeat over and over again. It won't ever get old.
后来，终于在眼泪中明白，有些人一旦错过就不再，永远不会再重来。有一个男孩爱着那个。
Ooh, I like that silence. I like that silence.
有一个男孩爱着那个，谢谢你们，女孩。谢谢，拜拜。谢谢。
There we go. Whole lie complete. But what do I think about the music? At first, it did seem kind of basic. It doesn't use anything out of the ordinary in the musical arrangement. But when it returned to this melody towards the end, I was more impressed then. The lyrics are very mature, very meaningful, quite concise, and relatable. So once you reach the end of the song, it just finishing on that melody sort of attaches that part of your brain to the melody, which I really like. It's great songwriting. And the other part that is great, songwriting and performance really, is towards the end. A lot of these Mando pop sort of songs, they do this sort of ending. But when you have a crowd like this, it really, really works. As I said, I love the silence. It really allows her to wrap up the song. It allows her to have a little bit of a solo singing performance before the band come back in to play that final melody. And also in this song and its structure, I really like that we do have this repetitive chorus. It's good enough to warrant these repeats, especially in a live performance like this, to give the crowd another chance at listening to that chorus. The chorus is the main part, but those last few lines are the conclusion to the story, which I really like. Now, I feel like this song's demographic isn't quite me, but recently I did go and see Taylor Swift, The Eras tour, so I'm more on this girl power train here, this sort of young female romance type of thing. I've got a bit more of an understanding of it now, but this is much more mature. It really comes from somebody reflecting back on something, and even though it is quite emotional, I don't think it's necessarily sad. She's not sad while performing it. The chord progression does have hints of sort of emotional sadness in it, but really I think that it's more of a lesson learned. You know, I've learned that life is like this. Could it have been any different? These are the facts, and I've reconciled with it. I think the song has a lot of wonder to it because it talks about this mysterious man who disappeared out of her life. He could have been the love of her life, but now forever is lost. And she wonders and she asks the questions, how do you remember me? With a smile or silently? And I think that this sort of imagination can run wild in this song. And I think that's what makes it so popular, is that it lays the foundation for your imagination to think about what this guy is doing. You know, what's his version of this song? This is her version and her side of the story. I think for me, the first verse is almost the weakest part of the song instrumentally. The piano here, to be honest, I find a little bit simple. I think it might have been nice to just have a few more inflections in there. I know it allows it to focus on her, but I do feel like this is remedied later in the song where a lot of the instruments do have their own little flourishes on the piano, little fills, little parts on the acoustic guitar, that sort of classical sound that also comes through in the instrumental section as well. I do always wish the instrumental sections are brought a bit more forward. Obviously, in a live performance, it's her chance to sort of take a bow as she does, interact with the audience a bit. But I would like that guitar further forward just because, personally, I like listening to those sorts of parts in songs. But by the end, we have lots of stuff in there. We have the strings bringing up some highs in there, and I think that this is quite a classic sort of sounding song. It ticks all the boxes for that sort of Mando pop sound, which is a little bit typical these days, but this is clearly a really good example of it, and that's really what makes Mando pop its own sound. I think her vocal presence is really good. Her stage presence is good as well. She stands there in the middle, sort of quite simply, as I said, down to earth, but her vocals are absolutely spot on. There isn't a missed note in there. It has this really nice singable melody which helps, but yeah, her voice is just perfect throughout this whole song. Very down to earth, but towards the end she really does push those vocals out. As I said, every note is bang on. Her pronunciation is lovely. The way that she leads herself into the chorus, as I said, is my favorite bit. So overall, just what a great performer, and I think that this is definitely a certified classic song. Please tell me what you think of this song in the comments down below. Maybe some information on it that I missed. Any good things about RENE LIU that you want to drop in the comments, please also do that. I try and read as much as I can about your opinions on the artists as well. So thank you for watching the video, and I will see you all next time. 再见, bye bye.